What's up there, fellas? How you doing? Hola, ¿cómo está? Bonjour, bonsoir, Charlie, how far? How far, Omar? How far? How you day? How you day? How you day? Welcome to Famous Football. I'm your host, Nate. Let's talk football. Oof. Today, we're going to be discussing all things Chelsea. Pretty much from the beginning of the video to the end, it's all things Chelsea. Now, we might make reference to other people here and there, but the focus of this video is about Chelsea. The Blues, huh? So we're going to be getting into the lineup. I'm going to be waiting, not the lineup. We will talk about possible lineup as the video goes. Also, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere, right? But for now, I'm gonna be talking, basically rating the Chelsea lineup that we have right now, the list of players that we have at the club right now. What do I think about them, right? So to begin with, well, let's get into it. Let's not delay. Let's get into it. Number one on the list is your big man, Sanchez. Roberto Sanchez, or Robert Sanchez. Roberto. Well, Sanchez is an interesting one. The reason why I say it's an interesting one is this. Like, he ended the season on a high that right now most Chelsea fans, we kind of think highly of this guy, right? That is not to say that for me personally, now that's most Chelsea fans, but me personally, I'm okay with him for now because I feel like to some extent I know what Chelsea is trying to do. We're trying to go in for Maignan. Now Maignan going to be out of contract in January with Inter. I think if he doesn't sign a new contract with them, no, AC Milan. If he doesn't sign a new contract with AC Milan, then we might get him in January because I know Maignan also keen on the move. But now we was linked with him earlier in the transfer window, but Milan wanted something, insane, and Chelsea was not willing to pay that. Even though I think the fee Milan was asking for was not very bad, but Chelsea, knowing that he's in the last few months of his contract, they didn't want to pay that money, so now they're just waiting for his contract to run out. But towards the end of the season, Robert Sanchez was not that bad. I think he was actually good. The problem with him, if Sanchez doesn't have to use his feet in terms of passing, he's good. But then if you look at the PSG game, his passing ability was one of the key things that makes, to be able to win the game, right? Especially the ball that he played into Malo Gusto on the win that brought in the first goal. And then if you look at our recent game against AC Milan as well, the ball that he played into Jean Pedro that led to the record. So that ability of his, so it's kind of a weird one, but the most problem we had with him was him giving the ball away, right? Often that he did it. When he did that against Arsenal a couple other times with other clubs that were, but if he doesn't have to use his feet, I think he's good. But then there's also good ability with him when it comes to him using your feet. I'll say his long ball, that's good. But now when it comes to like short range passes, that's where the problem is. But for now, I'm okay with Sanchez. If Sanchez doesn't go full Sanchez on us, we are good. Well, we move to Jorgensen. I think in the Conference League, he was our guy. He was brilliant. I think he's good. Like, he has the potential to be like a starting goalkeeper for like a Nottingham Forest, right? I think he has that ability to be like a starting goalkeeper for a team like that, a mid-table team. I think he has that ability. So having him as a second choice right now, it's not bad. But next summer, I think Chelsea gonna cash in on him, especially when we bring in a Maignan or somebody like that. I know Chelsea have a huge plan for Mark Penders, that we sent on loan to Strasbourg, so which is good. But then we also have Slonina right now. Slonina, the American, I think, at the club, which, being a third choice goalkeeper, I think it's also okay. So with goalkeeper, I'm okay. I'm not good, I'm okay. Because Sanchez, because for me, Sanchez should be, our second choice goalkeeper right now. But he's not doing equally, so he's not doing bad. So I understand the club decided to back him. But we move. Let's go to our fullbacks. When it comes to our fullback, I think that's one place I'm good. Like, I can look at our fullback and go, okay, I'm certified. I'm satisfied with our fullback. The fullback we have at Chelsea, Cucurella, I think he's the best left back in the world, or at least second, because the only person I can think that's ahead of him right now is possibly Nuno Mendes. But other than that, I see Cucurella as the best left back in the league. He's aggressive. He can progress with the ball. He can fit into our system so well. He can invert. He can overlap if the need be. So the guy's good, right? He's good all the way. Then we have his understudy in Hato, which is also brilliant. Like I told you, Hato is no play. I rate the guy so highly. So I think he's going to give Kukurea a bit of a competition here as well. Now, I think it's going to take him a minute because I watched his first game against Leverkusen where we tried to get him to invert. I think he had a little bit of problem like Malo Gusto, but we'll get to Gusto in a bit. And so I think with him, it will take it a little bit, but I think Maresca should start with him being a traditional fullback, let him build up his confidence, and then after that we can try invert doing the whole inversion thing. But Hato, I have no problem. The matter of fact, I was all in on this move, right? We move the big man, Capitino, Capitino, Capitan Capitino, Reece James himself. First of all, we know if Reece James is fit, he's the best fullback on the planet. We know that. For me, if he's fit, he's the best left back, not left back, but right back on the planet. I don't see anybody right now that I can say, okay, that will go head to head with him. I won't lie to you. But, obviously his fitness is a problem for us, so we worried about that. But despite that, we also have Gusto. Gusto, for me, is good if he's playing as a traditional fullback. Because in his first season with Chelsea, on the Poch, right? Play as a traditional fullback. He was one of our most consistent players. He was one of our best players. He had a great debut season for me, right? But if you get, once Maresca came in and we started asking Gusto to invert, then where the brother start diverting. Whenever we ask him to invert, he start diverting. He start doing things we don't know Gusto to do, right? But when it comes to him, as a traditional fullback, I'm 100% with it. I'm with Gusto on that one. But yeah, so Gusto is okay. He's the only person, in our fullback, the fullback that we have right now, that I can look at and say, okay, he's a little bit shaky. And that's because whenever he invert, that's the problem. But when he's playing as a traditional fullback, he's solid. And then we have George. Now, I have George here as a right back because I know that way he played from the beginning, right? But he can also play as a center back. And again, we have a lot of, versatile player in our squad. So George, that's one of the benefits with him. The kid plays as a center back, he's good, right? Right now, I like what he's doing with him. The pressure is not on him to kind of, show up, but he shows up anyway, and that's what I like. So like he has time to learn, and he's showing that he's learning. That you can see the development, you can see the growth, you can see everything with this guy, right? So our fullbacks, we are good. But center backs, Tosin, like I gave him my takes on Tosin in some videos. Like I know Tosin, when it comes to, he brings that control and calmness into the defense. His passing ability is also good. I talk about how he's able to find Palmer, especially in those type spaces that Palmer loves to be in, right? So he's good at finding Palmer in that. Now, we have other center back that is also good at that, but he actually caught my eyes when it comes to something like that. And now we have multiple people, or potentially we could have multiple people that love to be in that pocket, right? So he can be crucial, but I don't think he have the pace. That's all. But in terms of like his game, he has the height. He has the ball playing ability as well. He can defend fairly. So I love that about him. And then Badie Deshi. Badie Deshi is someone that actually do it. But then his inconsistency is my problem, right? Like he made little mistake, but apparently the entire Chelsea staff are behind him. They're seeing that he's developing. Now we saw a little bit of his development in the Conference League, which is good, and I think that Conference League, as much as most of us Chelsea fans didn't want to be there, I think it was a very good developmental league for our players, especially the ones that were trying to get them to grow, like Modric and Badie Deshi. We saw a champion in there, and not just him, but even Enzo. There where Enzo started from, and then pick up his form, and then before we started seeing him more and more in the Premier League and in other competition as well, and then he became consistent, right, and became one of the solid not defender but midfielder that we had at Chelsea with that Enzo Caicedo partnership. But so Badie Deshi was good at, he was good there, I think decent, but he needs to show more consistency for me. And to an extent, he's decent on the ball. He just need to defend. I think the one thing we want from you, brother, defend. Please stop making those silly mistakes, and maybe your confidence need to be, come up as well. So yeah, Badie Deshi. But for now, I don't really trust him fully. I won't lie to you. I don't trust him to be in my starting lineup, especially in the Premier League. In a Carabao Cup, yes, right? Maybe in the early stage of the FA Cup, maybe, yeah, I see it. But other than that, he still need to develop. But I see, there's something there, which of course I understand why the entire Chelsea ownership and maybe are behind him and see the growth as well. And then we move to Colwell. Colwell is injured, but we know he's one of our solid center back, and we trust this guy. We believe in this guy, and we all behind him. Hopefully, he can recover as soon as possible. And yeah, he's been solid for all the entire season, so I'm actually with him. And then Chalobah, Jehovah's son, Jehovah's son, Chalobah, right? The man been consistent. The treatment Chelsea gave to him, I don't think that was fair. I spoke about that in previous video, how Chelsea treat, their outgoings. I don't think it's fair. But regardless of all of that, we call him. He came back from Crystal Palace, show consistency, show some sort of level at Chelsea. He won 2 trophies with us, and I couldn't be more grateful for this guy. In the current Chelsea squad right now, I wouldn't want to get rid of him, especially considering everything that is happening with injuries and inconsistent players in our backline. That's not Chalobah, but Wesley, and then Colwell. Colwell is out right now. Colwell, I don't know if he's injury prone or not. I don't think he is, but I think this is his first injury. But Wes, we know him being in and out. So speaking about Wes, he's just coming back for another long-term injury, where we are hoping that this one he stays, because I feel like if he gets injured again, Chelsea will possibly look to sell him, right? And I won't blame Chelsea for that. But in terms of quality, the man has the quality. There's no doubt about that. Wesley Fofana has the quality. When you could see when he was, available for Chelsea when the season first started in our backline, he and Colwell, there was a good partnership going there, and there was a good partnership going there, and I understand why they wanted to get rid of Chalobah, even though most of us wasn't really in for that. And I don't think like I said earlier, I'm not for it even now. But you could see that good partnership until he got injured, right? And then now we started struggling again in his absence. So I feel like he adds something to that Chelsea backline if he can stay injured, like Reece James as well. So hopefully he can stay on his toes, on his feet as well. And we have Asemino, right? I thought this brother was going to go on loan. Apparently he's still going to be here, and there's potential there. Maresca like the guy, and let's see what he can do. I can't really say much about him. The few games he played in the Club World Cup, he look okay, right? So hopefully maybe in the Carabao Cup game and all those little game minutes you get, he gets to take advantage of it, right? And then we move to the midfield, right? Yes, I think Chelsea has one of the best midfield right now in the league. I'm not, possibly in the world, obviously with the world champion, and that midfield won the Club World Cup. So, you can make the argument that if that midfield won the Club World Cup, then that midfield is the best midfield in the world. I'm just saying, hey, it's the math. All right. But Caicedo, one of our, not even our best player last season, he did everything that he did. The guy is brilliant. I think whatever we pay for him, he deserves it. Like Brighton, as much as I think that was criminal, but this guy, Caicedo, right? And then we have his understudy Isugu. In the game against Leverkusen, Caicedo went out and came in. You couldn't see much of a difference. That's what we're looking for. That because last season we almost run Caicedo into the ground. Not having Isugu is basically the same thing. Now the only problem I have with him, I don't think Isugu is confident yet on the ball. And I know he's in the new team. Maybe he's trying to integrate. Now I'll follow him at his previous club. I didn't really see much of that as well. But he's showing something here. He is showing something here, right? So I'm excited about that one, and I like that he's an understudy to not cook with about Caicedo. So there's more time there for development. We can all see that, and there's room for it. So let's see what happens with that. And Enzo Fernandez, let's see. I think he's one of the Chelsea players that is not spoken much about, right? You talk about Kopama, we talk about Caicedo, we talk about Cucurella, and I think him was crucial to Chelsea last season. Because he does, the guy does so much that we don't see. If you watch Chelsea in and out, what he does is, in terms of Chelsea defending, he's there. He gives that cover to Caicedo, or Caicedo gave him that cover. That's what that partnership worked for me so well. And then he has this ability whenever we are attacking, obviously there's an inversion of a fullback into the midfield. So it's kind of like a back three and then a 2-2-3-1, almost something like that. And he's one of those attacking, and then he turned into an attacking midfielder along with Palmer. But the thing about him is that he makes run into the box, and we see him score more goals like that, right? More goal like that. He scored one in the Club World Cup, in the Conference League final. He also did the same thing. The guy is solid, right? So it's like in terms of attacking ability, he has it. In terms of creative ability, he has it. Defensive ability, he has it. Progressive ability, he has it. He can distribute the ball. He can move the ball around. Listen, we have a gem in Enzo Fernandez. Now, I know it's like I saw a post on X the other day that somebody said, oh, Enzo Fernandez starting the season slow. Last season was the season. He started slow. Justin, I have confidence in him. And then we have Lavia. Listen, if Lavia is fit, every single game that he plays, he's one of the best players on the pitch. As long as he's playing, he barely have a performance below, below, let's say, 6.5. Like his rating, overall rating in the game, if Lavia is playing, his performance is never below that. The guy is that good, but he cannot stay fit. Hopefully this season, he stay on, because we're going to need it. We won the Carabao Cup, we won the FA Cup, we won the Premier League, we won everything we can possibly get. So Lavia, come on, man, please, yeah, stay on your toes, stay on your feet for us, all right? Listen, the medical team at Chelsea, whatever you need to do, if you need to wrap this guy in a bubble, wrap him in a bubble until game day, we don't care. But we move on. Andre Santos, we bought this guy 2 years ago, sent on loan to Nottingham Forest, didn't really work out, sent on loan last season to Strasbourg, and he killed it there. Captain the team at a very young age, so he's showing leadership ability as well. He has that in him. And looking at him play, you see the maturity, the confidence is there. Listen, I feel like he and Enzo Fernandez, they have that goal covered. Listen, I'm not worried in that area right now, especially if I'm not necessarily worried. I can't really think of anybody that would say, oh, Chelsea should go and go sign right now. No, there's no midfielder. Because I feel like the same I was watching a PSG player say that, now a PSG fan say that he won't bring, there's nobody in Chelsea midfield could enter the PSG. As much as I agree with that, I also understand him because it works. The PSG midfield works. That Vitinha, Neves, and Fabian Ruiz, it works, right? So you don't want to mess that. It's the same way I feel about Chelsea midfield right now. So I'm okay with that. Now we move to the attack. Let's talk about the attack a little bit. We have Cole Palmer. He's Cole Palmer. I'm not even going to talk much about him. Cole Palmer is Cole Palmer. We let the man be himself, all right? Our star boy, yeah? And then Estevan Williams, the new prince of Stamford Bridge. The new prince of the bridge. I call him Palmer's son. Listen, this kid is exciting to watch. Watching him, the few games that he played for Chelsea, even the game that he played against Chelsea, I was following him in the Club World Cup. Like, he is something. And I don't think other people realize how good he is. He is that good. You know, even Maresca talk highly about him. He is good. You know what? Pedro Neto, one of our consistent winger last season. He showed up for us in so many ways, and I really did appreciate this guy. And I hope he can do the same again for us. Pedro Neto, his work rate, his dribbling ability, his crosses. We saw that with João Pedro, and now we have Gittins. The man that get them. Get them. And he's not afraid. His 1v1 ability is off the chart, and I love it, right? Take the ball to them, take the game to them, and hopefully we can see more of that. And then we have George is still in the lineup, but I know George might possibly leave, right? We know George might possibly leave. So if he doesn't leave, I think he could be like a third choice, in that Chelsea squad in terms of the winger option. So that would be good for him. And then we have Delap. Great signing there. Like I said, I know the Chelsea owners are now looking to go in for another striker if they let Nicola Jackson go. Now, if you look in the Chelsea lineup on the Chelsea page website, you'll still see Nicola Jackson and Christopher Nkunku as part of the team, right? But we know the last 2 games Chelsea played in preseason, none of them were included. But we see what they are trying to do there. Delap, I'm okay with the brother. I'm okay. So far, I haven't really seen any problem with him. He had the strength, the aggression, the ability, the finishing ability. We've seen that with his one-touch goal, But let's see, João Pedro, yeah? I think right now is probably impossibly our favorite in terms of new signing. Him, Estevan, Delap, get things, man. But João Pedro, he's showing up, right? Top player, and we're looking to see more of what we saw in the Club World Cup and in preseason into the coming season. And listen, the ability is there, and we know what let's talk about links, Garnacho and Simmons, right? Let's see what happened with that. But before we leave, I told you we're going to be discussing like lineup, right? And one of the lineup I wanted to discuss is I have this one like right now, like this lineup right here or this one right here is our strongest lineup, right? Like this lineup is our strongest lineup with what we have available. So Cucurella, Chalobah, Tosin, James, Caicedo, Fernandez, Gittins, Palmer, Neto, and João Pedro. That's our strongest lineup for now, right? So I think if we have the game we have coming up this weekend, I won't be surprised if I see this exact lineup, right? And then we have another lineup. Well, this one, right? I call it my favorite. This is my dream lineup, right? There's two, right? This one is the 4-2-3-1, right? This one. So in this one, I have one player that we link with, which is Simmons. You can see him, he's in there. But one thing I love about the lineup is like the attacking four, the four people we have attacking up there, every one of them can play almost everywhere, right? So you have Palmer that can play almost anywhere across the front line. Esteva can do the same. You have Simmons that can go in almost anywhere as well. Then you have João Pedro that can also do the same. So you have fluidity in that front line. So, right? I love it. So everybody can be anywhere. So wherever you go, so it's like if somebody's here, you know where to be next. If somebody's there, you know where to be next. So it's like if somebody's in your position, you don't have to be there. So it's like we're not crowding all places, but everybody can almost be, play everywhere and be anywhere, whenever they are needed. So I love that. And then there's another formation too I also look at. This one, the 4-4-2. Right? I know Chelsea barely play in a 4-4-2. We play in a 4-3-3 and a 4-2-3-1, right? But this one, a 4-4-2, I fancy this one as well. Now, it's not necessarily my favorite. Right? The one I should show you is my favorite. But this one also is that because this 4-4-2 can transition into a 4-2-2-2. And we see Chelsea experiment with that. So we play with 2-10. And then that gave Reece James the ability to overlap and we know when he's overlapping what happens, right? So Cucurella can do the inversion, so like the three in the back. And this one, the reason why I have to say this with our strongest, so Colwell and Wesley Fofana both fit. That's our strongest center back pairing. So if the both of them are fit and are up to form, that would be it. So that 4-4-2, Caicedo, Enzo, right? Love it. And then you have Simmons that operate in the half space. So Simmons operating in that half space almost like he's playing as a 10. And then Palmer is out wide. And Palmer can also come in there almost playing as a 10. So the both of them operating as a winger / 10, right? And then you have Delap and João Pedro. João Pedro can step in and play as a 10 if they need be, right? And then Delap can be there. The both of them, I want to see the both of them play together. Let's see that link up play between the both of them. And I want to see what can happen, feeding off of each other, right? João Pedro doing what João Pedro does. Delap also doing what Delap can do. They hold up the everything. And then you have Palmer, Enzo Fernandez. Too much creative option here. Right now, the one that I showed you previously, you have, 4 different creative options. This one, you also have at least almost the same thing as well in those players. Yeah, but I would love it. I would honestly love it. This, obviously this 4-4-2, you can see it. It would be when we are defending. That would be the shape. But if we are not defending, it turns into a 4-2-2-2, right? So we are gonna be cooking. We are gonna be cooking. Listen, I don't know what we're going to be cooking, but it's going to be good. And I know for sure Chelsea is going to be cooking something this season, right? I'm looking forward to this season. Can we get a quadruple? And I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but a quadruple would be nice. Would be nice. Would be nice. A quadruple. Let's see. Come on, you Chelsea. Come on, you Blues. All right. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Much appreciated. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Tell me, what do you think? Right? Do you agree with the lineup? Do you agree with what I said about each player? What do you look to see from Simmons if we get him? Garnacho. Do you think how can you integrate Garnacho into this team? Now, do you think, considering what we have in terms of center back pairing, you okay? Right? With it, would you rather go for something else? Or would you rather ask somebody that Chelsea is not necessarily linked with to this team right now? What do you think? Let me know your thoughts about that. Much appreciated. Again, don't forget, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Much appreciated. See you later. Cheers.